Hello my gorgeous people and welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Will and the Shatter reaction has gotten a buff recently, and with that, a bit of an older character I would say has also gotten a small buff, and that character being the character I have on screen right now, the one and the only baby girl Kaveh. So Kaveh is like one of the not one of the only, he's actually the only real Claymore character who wants to stack EM besides Dihia in Virgin Team comps. So he's the best candidate for Shatter because that also scales off of EM for some whatever reason. Now, I did put out a poll about a few weeks ago, and a total of 5 people voted for me to do a Super Shatter Bloom Kaveh theme. Now, you might be wondering, what is a Super Shatter Bloom Kaveh? It encompasses multiple reactions in Hyper Bloom, Shatter, Superconduct, Electrocharged, and Bloom, and it uses a Electro character, a Cryo character, a Hydro character, and a Dendro character, which has to be Claymore, which leaves our only option being Kaveh. Now, as you can see on in the team right now, I am not using an Electro character. I, as always, have prepared multiple teams to show off how strong a normal Shatter Bloom team is, how strong a Super Shatter Bloom team is, and I have different variations of each of them. Now, while I was theory crafting up the teams and like testing which teams are the best, which teams should I use, Lay had the beautiful idea that I should record my testing, because it usually happens with a lot of screaming, a lot of joking around with her, and a lot of losing my freaking sanity. So I will insert a clip of how that went right now. I can at least happily say that Yelan doesn't need to be on an ER stands. But to be fair, this is in a team where there's 4 Favonius users. How did I... Okay, he flew. Let me tell you, Viridescent Chaska. Oh my... Rosaria, stop climbing!
Murtis.
I know your ass is big, but like... And he's dead.
I feel like when has he not been on the brink of death at this point?
With this Bishop's guy,
No,
he just like
I never shut
jumps
up.
atop of the fucking Bishops. Now that's saying that out loud in that way is. But if there's anyone watching who is a Kokomi main, fuck you. Because I can't.
You can't? Why?
Don't bully me by how I say
Why
can't.
can't you?
I can't say can't. I just say can't. Why is he flying?
I feel like just half of the time you're just British. There's nothing more to it. You're just sometimes British.
No, not those kind of bones. You know what I mean.
Like your reaction
right
was
now,
just.
I'm sorry. I was thinking about already when I get Cyan, the first video I want to do is the freeze Plungiula. This is all for her greedy moneyness. What greedy moneyness?
Easy.
I speak English.
You could just get the C6 Dory, do Electro, and yeah.
That infusions only lasts like for like 6
That's
seconds. Like
that's
3
literally enough
slashes,
to
that's
kill
not
something.
worth
If
it.
you build her right, those 3 slashes are gonna be even too much. Trust
What
me.
do you think? Who do you think I am? Do you think I have like C6 of every character to be able to give enough support, or what?
For some reason, just Conan Gray came
That's
to my mind.
better.
You said it looked better on me than it did you. Only if you knew.
What is that song called? That's from Kid Crow album.
Heather.
Kid Crow. Oh yeah, it is Heather. Now, as always, I'm gonna be testing these teams at the Wish apps on the Sea of Bygone eras because it's just so good in AoE scenarios, like last team with the Nilo teams. It's so good that you can just restart it as a big AoE scenario. So the first team is just gonna be a normal Shatter Bloom with Kaveh, Yelan, Kaya, and Rosaria. If you're wondering why actually Shatter Bloom and why this team be like purposefully and not just a normal Shatter, well, Kaveh works similarly to Nilo, where he buffs somewhat the Bloom reaction, making the danger cores when exploding deal more damage, and also he is kind of a self-sustain unit on its own because he heals from the danger cores when they explode instead of taking damage. Well, he still takes damage. At certain numbers when they explode, they will heal him instead of making him take damage. So he's the best candidate for that. And also since most of the time I actually forget to show off the whole team's artifacts, and some of my friends have been actually like questioning what the builds I'm using. So right now I remembered, so I will show it off. So Kaveh has about 260 EM. He is on the Favonius Great Sword. He's running a 4-piece Gilded Dreams. Now, as you can see, the Flower and the Feather are not level 20 because I just don't have the fodder for that. So it could be, at least from the Flower, a bit more EM. And then he's running triple EM with EM Sands, Goblet, and Circlet. He's right now C4. At C6 he does get a bit better, and this team does get a bit better because he can pop more of the Dendro cores. And his talents don't really matter that much. They does increase so the actual damage. So if, as I said, if you invest into him more, if you actually want to crown this skill, then that will give you more overall team DPS, mainly from the Dendro cores. I just don't have the materials for it, neither the Mora to do that right now. Yelan is on the Favonius Forbo. She's running a 4-piece emblem, C0, 6, 7, 8. Kaya is on the Wolffang. He's running a 4-piece emblem, C1 and 118. And then Rosaria is on the Favonius Lance, 4-piece Exiles, C6, and 1, 4, and 10. Now this team is for sure gonna be one of the weaker ones that I'm showing up today. Not that any of them are like super meta and like gonna be the strongest teams ever, but this is, at least from the before testings, this was one of the worst of them all, but it still worked out to some degree, but don't expect much from it. The Shatter got a 100% buff, going from 1.5 times multiplier to 3 times multiplier, which is actually the same as Hyper Bloom and Virgin. And as you can see, some of the when those Shatters pop, they're doing about 16k. Now it doesn't have perfect scaling, so if you have 1000 DM, it will be around like 30k damage, I presume. Yeah, it doesn't always work like that. It's not 100% conversion rate, but it is about there. So if you have about 1000 EM, you should presumably be getting around like, I'd say like 30k damage from Shatter. Now these Shatters are doing about 17 to 18k's about, and yeah, the team is, as I said, for sure the worst one, and it does have some energy issues because you can already see here. And it is also very uncomfortable to play it a lot of the times. Since we just don't have a very good like off-field cryo applicator, you have to use Kaya and Rosaria together to have a chance of good hydro application. Now the time is almost out, and I barely defeated any enemies, so it is for sure the weakest one of the teams today, because none of the characters besides Yerlan are generally that strong on their own, and also my Rosaria is not even built for damage. She's on a 4-piece exile. She's just here to provide more energy to the team, because this team does suffer, and I mean suffer, from energy problems. Like, everyone needs a lot of energy recharge for you to have 100% uptime and can actually dish out the damage most of the time. So it is nowhere near perfect, and none of the teams will be. But with that being said, I think it is now time to move on to the second team. Okay, so here I am with team number 2. Now if you look over to the left at the team section, you can see that barely, and I mean barely, anything changed. I just basically changed out Kaya for official. Now you will see not much diversity with these teams. They all follow about the same rule of needing basically a Cryo, a Hydro, and a Claymore character, in this case Kaveh. And then since Kaveh is a Dendro character, you can also do Virgin and Hyper Bloom a lot of the time. So Official is here actually for neither of those. She's here for Aggravate. And then with the adding of Official, you will also get some Superconduct, Electrocharged, and Aggravate. But there's later on going to be another character which will add the possibility in for Hyper Bloom also, because Official, while she can trigger some Hyper Blooms, it's not very reliable, because she doesn't have very big AoE on her hits. And yeah, now when playing these teams, don't really expect much damage, like at all. None of them are really strong teams. They're really more over just like fun things to play around with. They're fun teams for sure, but not meta teams. No, they're nowhere near meta. I don't think they even know what the word means. They're so bad, but it is a possibility, and I just wanted to try it out. Is it even usable? Dare I say, maybe to some degree. Could Kaveh become meta? No, he does not. He cannot. This team, most of these teams are absolutely horrendous. The thing with Kaveh is, well, he is a sustain unit. I said that, but like, he doesn't have that much sustain, and there's no real character for you to run as like a sustain unit. I mean, Layla could be, but then you would be lacking the cryo application, because most of her cryo application comes from her burst, and just the burst cooldown doesn't align that well with this team. But to be fair, nothing really aligns with Kaveh. He has such a long cooldown on his burst that, like, he has generally a lot of issues, like, and I mean a lot, like, neither normal bloom, neither shatter bloom. He just doesn't have very many teams. Like, the biggest problem with him is the main thing he wants to do is to be on a bloom team, but up until C6 you can't even reliably pop those bloom cores, so he can't even do the thing that he was supposed to do. Like, he's a very pretty character, but I'm just gonna be mostly trashing on him in this video, because there's so many bad things with him. His kit feels very incomplete a lot of the times. But I think it is time to move on to the next team. Now you might be looking at this team and like wondering, didn't you say this is about Shatter Bloom? I did say that it's about Shatter Bloom and trying how good it could be, but I did never mention that it's only about Shatter Bloom. And this team and the next team are not even Shatter Bloom. So the basic idea of the team generally follows that Cookie has some amount of healing, meaning that can offset the HP drain for Farina for a bit more of the fanfare stacks, and also just Farina and Yelan together are absolutely broken a lot of the times now. With all of that put together, and also Hyper Bloom. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about Hyper Bloom. Freaking god. Hyper Bloom is just, in my opinion, still very broken. it has very good scaling and very good characters. But well, even though Shatter it does have the same scaling now, it is nowhere near as good because really no other character besides Kaveh can take it like at all. No one really can use it unless you want to build like something like freaking EM which I was thinking about the other day. They're like, it could work. It could 100% work. You wouldn't even really need what's it called? Sustain for that, because the EM also gives you more crystallize. It wouldn't. No, it wouldn't work. Don't listen to me. It's just a fun idea. But as you can see, it already has a lot more damage. Like I've cleared 2 rounds, and I've only been here for a minute, while the 2 teams till now couldn't even clear 1 round in the whole like time. So I would say that Kaveh has play in some teams, but then again that is just because he's Dendro, and Dendro still has a lot of play in a lot of teams, mainly Hyper Bloom, as you can see, like 14Ks. And no one is even on Deepwood, by the way, just letting you know. I feel... actually, I could have put in on Deepwood. Oh well, I'm not really recording it now. So as I was saying, but then got distracted. The basic theme idea follows that Furina needs healing to be able to take care of her fanfare stacks and offset her own HP drain. Yelan and Furina core together are very strong. By adding in Dendro you can create blooms, and Cookie is here to create from those blooms hyper blooms. Kaveh does also do some damage with his blooms, but he's mostly here just to apply Dendro. While Kaveh is for sure a workable character in this, and the fact that he can heal some amount from the Dendro explosions, I wouldn't say that he's the best one. There's a lot of other characters like Nahida, I'll hate them. If you wanna use him in this team comp, you can. And as you could see now, it was a lot better than all of the other ones so far. And I mean a lot. But with that, I think it is time to now move on to the next team. Okay, so here I am with the next team, and if you look over at the right, it is... they're completely gone off track from Shatter at this point. And also, yes, I am using Yelan in all of these teams, just because while particularly Yelan with Kaveh doesn't have that big of a synergy like at all, just the fact that Yelan can apply a lot of hydro and do a lot of damage off field just while the Kaveh is doing normal attacks, I really find that really good and really comforting. I just generally really love Yelan. I also loved using her with Nilo in the last video. So yeah, but the idea behind this team is, if you look over to the right, you can see a big mix of characters, mostly used actually for Burning and Virgin. If you have Emily, please use Emily instead of Kaveh. I personally don't have Emily yet. On her next run I'm gonna be going for her, but the team follows the idea of Shangling is gonna be applying a lot of pyro off field, triggering Burning, and then Yelan can vape off of them. Kaveh is mostly here just once again because he's Dendro. Nahida and Emily will be 1,000 times better if you have either of them. Use them. Don't use Kaveh unless you really love him, like I do. I really like his design, that's why I'm actually doing this video, which I actually forgot to mention. For anyone wondering this video, I'm doing it because I really like Kaveh's design. And yeah, let's go on to showcasing the team. And for those few people who are wondering whether I'm doing better because last video I was sick, yes, thank you. I've seen those few comments. Thank you very much. That was very sweet. But as you, oh my god, there's gonna be a lot going on here. There's gonna be Virgin, Burning, Vaporize. There's gonna be a lot, and Yelan is gonna be mostly pulling the team's damage up by quite a lot, just because of how good she is. Like, I just can't name how much I like this character. Yelan is like one of the best characters in this game, in my opinion. Like, I would even argue to some degree she's better than Farina. Well, maybe not, but like, I just like her more than I do Farina. And yes, you can use any in any of these teams Farina, and it will also work really well. And also just the core of a Dendro, a Pyro, and a Hydro will work very well, because even Yao Yao there, if you just have Nahida, use that. Like, as much as I love Kaveh and his design, he's not a good character, like, at all. He's not very meta. You can use him if you really invest into him. He can be playable. I will one day, most likely. I just need the resources, because I'm missing on a lot of resources, because I like building characters and I have a lot of fun team ideas, actually. Oh my god, these bishops are so annoying sometimes. 12 enemies, 2 rounds. Already a lot better than the Shatter Bloom. Now I have one more team prepared, which finally is not going to be using Yelan. And we are going back into tracks with Shatter Bloom, and it's gonna be the actual super hyper Shatter Bloom, the team that you guys voted for. Let me go and show you. Now here I am with the last team. Once again we'll be following the fact that Furina and Shinobu, while not having that good of a synergy, because Shinobu only has single target healing and Furina really wants multi-target, like team-wide healing, it is still better than nothing. And the Hyper Bloom damage from Cookie is gonna be really adding to this team. Also the Electrocharged and the Superconduct is gonna be adding a lot to this team. Plus the pure damage of Farina is also gonna be really adding to this team. And Rosaria is basically here just to provide a lot of energy. Now when I was doing the testing, I found this team to be the strongest of all of the Kaveh teams. Okay, no, I take that back. It is the Hyper Bloom which was the strongest. This is the Shatter Bloom versions. From those, this was the strongest. And it isn't even really purely Shatter Bloom. Man, I really want Kaveh to be good, but it's just really hard to do anything with this character when like the best thing you have going is not even in your own niche. His niche is a Bloom team, but his best team is a Hyper Bloom team, which then just Cookie takes the spotlight. And also in this team, just because of all of the mix of the reactions, while he does add a bit, actually that was a 20k Shatter. Maybe he is a bit better. I mean, Cookie does give some EM. I don't know. Maybe. Am I cooking? I might be cooking. I mean, I might be cooking, but then again, did I eat with it? I might be leaving a lot of crumbs still. Oh my god, stop being frozen, asshole. Okay, I might have tested it completely wrong, because this team is actually so far really slapping. Now, is it coming from Kaveh? No, the team is being pulled by Cookie and Furina. And also Rosaria to some degree. Oh no. Well, my controller just died. Now, I was gonna also do Abyss in this video. Originally, I was just gonna put in some clips of the original recording I did of the Abyss, where I failed completely, but no, I decided I'm gonna give it one more last try. And here's how that went. So I gave it some tries. I went into the Abyss with my most OP team and the Kaveh team, and it was a pain. It took me 8 tries of of just doing chamber 1 over and over and over and over, getting 2-minute clears, not enough time for the second half, and I just couldn't. I wanted to keep my Rosaria on my Exiles build because I don't like changing around my artifacts very much, but I caved in and I gave my Rosaria my Kaya's 4-piece emblem because I was just getting so close yet so far away, and the energy issues with the team with Kaveh, when I switched back to Kaveh, his burst wasn't up, he still had a cooldown, and after about half an hour to maybe 40 minutes of trying 8 consecutive tries and switching artifact sets on my Rosaria, it paid off. I 36 star chamber 1 and then we get to chamber 2. I spent an hour because of that Dendro Cybertooth. That guy was so annoying. The hyper blooms just weren't doing enough damage. He was running around so much. The Rosaria ring wasn't able to hit it. It was a mess. But I just gave up, and yeah, I needed at least a minute and 9 seconds from my calculations to be able to clear with my Cloran team's second half, and I just kept getting 2-minute 15 second, 2-minute 10 second, 2-minute 20 second clears on the first half, leaving me with only about 40 to 45 seconds on the second half, which was just not enough time for me to clear the Eon Dried Blake. I found out that not investing into Kaveh that much, but putting most of your resources into characters like Rosaria and Furina will get you a lot more forward than just investing in Kaveh. So if you want to use these teams, mainly the last team, the one with Cookie, the super hyper Shatter Bloom team, parentheses, the name was because of me, you make sure that you put most of your resources into Furina and into Rosaria. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Some thoughts towards the end, some last thoughts about the teams. I love Kaveh's design, and I'm so sad that at least my Kaveh, I'm sure that if I level 90 him and give more resources into him and put more resources into my Rosaria, it can be a viable team somewhat, because Genshin is a pretty easy game. You don't need most of the 5 stars to be able to 36 star the Abyss, at least from what I found. And a lot of other people say that as well. So it is a pretty simple game. If you like Kaveh, all of these teams are 36 starable. My favorite one and the strongest one from what I found is the last one. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today. I hope you really enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like before you go. And if you're already down there, make sure to press the sub button and the little bell icon next to it so you never miss a video from me. This was Will speaking. Goodbye, my gorgeous people. See you in the next one.